By human nature, we tend to think of ourselves as superior or better. This idea develops because of our early years in life and the curiosity-driven passion for learning history. When we first encounter history as children, it becomes an adventure that fills an inquisitive mind with knowledge to explore the people and their lives from the past. Understanding the significance of different cultures, civilizations, and events provides us with an important window into the development of humanity in the future. However, during our historical readings, we involuntarily compare the people from the past with what they could or couldn't do. As individuals living in the present age, the technological advancements and opportunities offered by modern life often appear more impressive compared to the past. Our cars, airplanes, internet, and other technologies ease our lives, accelerate communication, and enable us to explore the world. This perception may lead us to believe that our current society and culture are in an elevated state. Nevertheless, such a historical comparison comes with a significant perspective flaw. History encompasses not only technological advancements, but also human experiences, emotions, and efforts. People from the past faced challenges with the same passion and determination as they tried to solve the problems of their own times. Beyond technological progress, there has always been a spirit of dedication and solidarity throughout human history. Undoubtedly, when compared to the past, modern times are technologically more advanced. However, claiming that we are better is a part of understanding history and not an accurate conclusion. I will share with you a few observations as to why I think it is not so. In the ancient days, knowledge and ideas were exchanged through oral communication and writing, enabling us to preserve history for thousands of years. But hold on, modern world. Look at the plethora of methods and devices we use now to share information. We're practically enslaved by electronic gadgets, the internet, and those addictive social media platforms born from it. Within seconds, we can access information that our ancestors could never even fathom. We devour new knowledge, learn, and mold our lives accordingly. But wait, here's the burning question. In this world of easy access to genuine information and the lightning-fast generation of new data, do you know what else is flooding our minds? Lies, deceit, and manipulative garbage. Our brains are cluttered with unnecessary facts, people, and events that we'll likely never use in our entire lives. Now here's the challenge. As you watch this video, take a good hard look around your surroundings. How many things you own were genuinely necessary purchases? How many were influenced by media coercion or your desperate need to compare yourself to others on social media? And don't forget, how many items did you buy just to keep up or avoid the fear of missing out? Finally, think about those hard-earned bucks you spent on products. How many of them were truly essential, and how many were just materialistic obsessions? I'm telling you to be brutally honest with yourself. It's time to scrutinize your choices and motivations as you continue watching this video. Wake up to reality and confront the truth. We often glorify the struggles of ancient people in their quest to discover and explore, deprived of the luxuries of fossil-fueled vehicles, GPS, and maps. But let's get real. Nowadays, we've got all the high-tech gadgets and equipment to traverse the highest peaks, the deepest lakes, or any uncharted territory. Yet, have we ever stopped to ponder the dark side of our exploration obsession? Are we even remotely aware of the underlying motivation behind our relentless quest for discovery? It's time to face the uncomfortable truth. Our drive to explore often masks a dangerous desire to exploit and consume, leaving a trail of destruction in our wake. We brazenly chop down forests, poison the waters that countless species call home, and carelessly trash nature without batting an eye at the disastrous consequences. It's like we've been given a license to ravage the very planet that sustains us. And let's talk about food, our most fundamental need. Back in the day, people toiled in agriculture, working the land with their bare hands to produce what they needed to survive. But look at us now. We have an abundance of processed junk that's causing an epidemic of obesity and chronic diseases. We're literally eating ourselves to death. Don't get me wrong, ancient folks faced hardships, but at least they had a more sustainable and balanced way of living. They didn't indulge in the gluttony and extravagance that we do today. We look back at them with pity, but maybe we should be taking a long, hard look in the mirror instead. Are we truly better off with all our modern comforts and conveniences? Or have we become greedy, selfish, and oblivious to the price our planet is paying for our indulgences? This is not a time for sugarcoating. It's time for brutal honesty and introspection. The truth may be harsh, but it's the wake-up call we desperately need. In ancient times, a person generally needed basic necessities like shelter, food, water, warmth, and security to survive. While these fundamental needs remain unchanged, a modern-day individual has much more than that. However, the reality is that despite having so much more, what we consume may seem to cater to our short-term comfort and pleasure. But in truth, it's far from fulfilling. In the past, we ingeniously used materials like stones, sand, and wood from nature to build our shelters, making the best of what we had. However, in today's world, with our burgeoning populations and urban lifestyles, we find ourselves constructing massive cities and towering structures to accommodate everyone's needs. But let's face it, as we erect these towering behemoths, are we merely refugees seeking shelter within nature's realm? Or are we arrogantly asserting our dominance over nature, heedless of the consequences of our actions? Are we respectfully coexisting with nature, or are we shamelessly causing irreversible harm in the pursuit of progress? Can we honestly claim to be self-sufficient as individuals for all our needs? Absolutely not. So what did we do instead? We embraced industrialization, restructured our society, and managed our population using technology. Sure, our advanced agriculture might make us feel superior to our ancestors, but is it all sunshine and rainbows? Let's not be blind to the harsh truth here. The chemicals, tools, and practices in modern agriculture are wreaking havoc on nature. And don't even get me started on our massive carbon footprint from excessive food production and distribution. It's like we're swimming in a sea of gluttony and greed, consuming way more than we truly need. And hey, if you think I'm just spouting nonsense, check out the shocking graphs and research on the insane rise in per capita sugar and calorie consumption worldwide over the past century. Are we willing to face the music and make a change, or are we just going to turn a blind eye to the truth? When we talk about history, we love to condemn ancient civilizations for their brutal wars, merciless killings, and senseless land disputes. Are we any better? Think about it. When we hear about Genghis Khan causing the deaths of around 40 million people, we're quick to label him a monster. But how many of us actually know the staggering death toll of both world wars? It's like we conveniently forget the gruesome reality of the past century. In the good old days, we found hand-to-hand combat with axes, swords, and spears barbaric and savage. Yet what about the conscience of an F-16 pilot today, who can obliterate lives with the push of a button, without even seeing the faces of those they destroy? We used to dread the notion of mass casualties from arrow showers, but now we possess systems that can decimate thousands from hundreds of kilometers away, all without laying eyes on our enemy. So do these modern-day killing machines somehow make us morally superior? We're quick to judge our ancestors while conveniently ignoring the atrocities of our own time. It's time to face the music and question our supposed progress. Are we truly better human beings? Or have we simply become masters of destruction, wielding technology to carry out our ruthless ambitions? We love pointing fingers at ancient civilizations for their violent tendencies, cheering on about gladiators fighting to the death, as if they were part of some barbaric society. But here's the harsh truth. Take a good look at today's world. We still have UFC, boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, and other combat sports. The only difference from gladiators is that the fights now end when one fighter can't continue, or when the clock runs out. But is that really any less brutal? In the past, gladiators risked their lives and health in hopes of earning enough for their freedom. Fast forward to today, and what do we see?
But I am no celebrity. People mistake me for a celebrity. I break people's faces for money and bounce. That's what I do. So Saturday night, I'm gonna do it again.
Our basic desires haven't changed one bit. We still find pleasure in the same things we once labeled as savage, all while daring to claim that we are somehow better now. So it's time to face the music and question our supposed evolution. Are we truly any better than our ancestors, or have we just found more sophisticated ways to indulge in our primitive inclinations? The answer may leave you with a bitter taste, but it's about time we confront the reality of our own violent inclinations and stop pretending to be morally superior. In the past, we often talk about the lack of equality among people, where the king's word was law, and different social classes existed within societies. We find it strange and criticize the lack of justice and the power dynamics that favored the privileged few. But let me ask you this. Have we truly moved beyond this in today's world? Are there no longer different classes in society, or does justice still favor the powerful? take a good hard look at the reality around you. Certain groups still hold immense power and control over countries and masses. The dynamics of those in authority and those they govern are far from equal. It's not as overt as kings and their subjects, but the disparities persist. And let's not forget the notion of slavery and masters having ownership over others' lives, which deeply disturbs us when we look back at history. In the modern world, many people toil in jobs they despise, serving others to provide for their basic needs, much like the relationship between masters and slaves. While I'm not comparing the working conditions to outright slavery, the underlying dynamics of being subservient for survival still resonate. At the end of the day, a slave had food and a roof over their head, just like many people today working to provide for themselves and others. The difference lies in how these dynamics are veiled, but the essence of inequality and exploitation remains. When discussing the past, we often feel sorry for people who suffered due to insufficient healthcare, leading to premature deaths from easily treatable illnesses. We sympathize with their struggles and are grateful for the advanced medical care we have today. With improved healthcare facilities, hygiene, sanitation, ample food supply, reduced conflicts, and various other factors, it's evident that average life expectancy has increased significantly in the modern era. But here's the hard truth we tend to overlook while reveling in our longer lifespans. Our actions are hastening the depletion of this world's resources. Yes, we may live longer, but are we truly aware of the consequences of our ever-increasing consumption? It's not about making apocalyptic predictions like Thanos, or wishing for people to perish. I'm not a proponent of such gloomy thoughts. As emotional beings, cherishing our loved ones and the life we lead is invaluable. However, when we use mathematics and logic, the reality becomes undeniable. While some of you may not witness the scarcity crisis, and some may live right through its heart, one thing is certain: it will come to pass. We don't need to be seers to foresee this inevitability. Yes, people. I believe I have briefly explained my observations and thoughts up to this point. Generally, some things have become so easy that their meaning and value have been lost, which has made people more ungrateful and arrogant. Yet humans remain inherently simple and selfish beings. So I ask you, do you still think we are superior beings compared to our ancestors? Please share your thoughts in the video comments, as I believe we can create an engaging discussion. Don't hesitate to join in, and take care of yourselves until my next video.